Hello again, welcome back to the project. In this video I will start dismantling the parts, and I hope that at the end of the day the engine is out, transmission is out, maybe some panels, hood, fenders. We'll see. My friend is coming to help me, so it's easier to lift the engine because you cannot see everywhere if there's some wires or close gaps, so it doesn't hit anything. So I prefer to do it with a friend. After the last episode, I did few things to the engine. I adjust the idle speed with revolution sensor, like the laser one. So now it's like a little bit over 800. And I noticed that the distribution shaft has worn, so there's quite a lot of play, so that affects on the point gap and the dwell angle. So I think I need to replace the whole distributor, but I think I will buy the 1, 2, 3 ignition unit that has the whole new distributor, and it is electronically controlled, so that's a huge improvement. But let's start the tear down. There's the engine. It's out of the car. We managed to get it out. Pretty straightforward job, nothing special. First we removed the fenders, then the hood, the whole front, and then we of course needed to take all the cables and stuff out of the engine, but this is so simple. So there's like 5 wires and few pipes, clutch cable, speed cable, fuel hose, and that's it. You can take the engine out. It is so simple. It was nothing special. Only funny thing is that all the bolts on the fenders and the front, they were like every second one was different size. There was like 10 millimeters, 11, 12, 13 millimeters socket. So I don't know who put it together, but they used like whatever they reached their hand for. But I think it's the same like in the more modern Volvos. You don't know what kind of, for example, brakes you have before you take the old one out and compare it to the new one. When you compare the engine, how big it is, and that gearbox, it's like so tiny. It looks funny. But the shifter frame is pretty long in here, so it was a little bit tricky to get the engine out. And I think that this balancer is a must, because we had it like almost in the other end to make the engine like tilt as much as we could. So the shifter frame came under the car. It would have been much easier if we would have taken the exhaust off, but this was rusted in, so I just angle grinder and cut it off. But this was the issue also. There was like one of the 3 nuts. Here was nothing. This fell off when I just like touched it. All the threads have been rusted off. But this one is so tight, and you couldn't like have a good tool underneath, or here you didn't have the space. So we just left it there. So you can see the marks. This was the tightest spot. It was like hitting on the frame here. But the engine is off, so all good. There is some rust in the front. Nothing like too crazy, but something that you need to take care and at least like sand it to the bare metal and paint it. Like I'm gonna paint the whole engine bay. But when you go a little bit more down, here is a little bit more rust. This side is like pretty solid, but the left side is totally gone. I think the radiator has been leaking sometimes, so maybe that is the cause. I don't know. But I need to fix this before I put it to the body grill. Here's my grill. I made it like 10 years ago for my Beetle, so you can rotate it and fix it more like better positions and move it around, of course. Of course, this is more heavier than Beetle, but I think it's gonna hold. The sides are not too bad. There has been already done some patching here and there, but this seam needs to be checked at least. I think this has like a spot weld in it because it's so frequent spacing between these rust spots. But I think it's not terrible. And the other side is pretty similar. I think this is a little bit worse, but I need to check it. And the main frame has been rotted off. There's like both sides missing. There is old patch there, so it has just spreaded after that. I need to fix that before the grill. I think next thing I'm gonna do is strip all down from the engine bay and give it a good wash, and maybe took out the windshield doors, rear windows, the trunk, rear bumper, exhaust, drive shaft, and like strip it down and wash the rest of the car. The front piece is okay-ish. It has been repaired, and this is why I thought first time that it has been welded, but luckily the seam is in the other side. But all these seams, these need to be checked and repaired and painted. I just need to try to paint it like that the front, that the paint work doesn't like take a hit. Same in the other side, it has been repaired, so maybe need to dig into it a little bit more. These are like closed chambers when the headlights and the fog lights is on. There's like no big holes, so all the dirt just stayed there. And I also took the grill off, the mask. On the lower side there is some rust, so I need to clean these and paint it. I think I'm gonna paint it like all this backside and things that you don't see. The same way I'm gonna paint the engine bay, but not the outside panels. I measured the weight of the engine just for fun, and I was surprised that it was only 250 kilos, all these, because it has iron block and iron head, and it's pretty big, but still like 250 kilos. Because there is like 1.6 liter diesel engine, and if I remember correct, the engine with the two hydraulic pumps weighted, I think it was also like 250 kilos. So I thought that this is gonna be at least 300 kilos, but pretty lightweight. Maybe it has racing pistons or something. The car has lost some weight. Yesterday I removed the doors. They are pretty easy, just 6 bolts for the hinges. I also removed the trunk cover, just 4 bolts. I jumped inside and carried in my back. At the same time I untied the bolts, and I also took out the rear window. There is some kind of glue in here on the top and rust on the bottom. I twisted the window seal from the inside, first the sides and then the upper side, and then you can just like push the window away and lift it. I'm not sure what's the best way to do it, but that's how I got it off. And now I'm removing the dash. The dash is held by 7 screws on the top. First you have to take off this plastic cover. It is just like pressed there. So it's not that tight, but the old plastic is pretty fragile, so you have to be careful. And then on the bottom side there is 4 13 millimeters bolts or some inch, I'm not sure. First I unplugged all the buttons and switches, all the wires. This cable for the heater flaps is still attached. I need to figure it out if I can remove these as a package from the other side, I'm not sure. After the dash is removed, then I'm gonna take off the windshield. I can already see some rust, so that's why it needs to be taken off, so I can repair it. Huhhuh. There was 3 bolts behind it, so just the nuts off and it stayed here. There is all the wires of the car. It is pretty simple with these older models. I need to check it if I can use some of it, maybe like the basic wiring, but at least like for the headlights I'm gonna make new wires and maybe put some relays. And I need to check all the connectors and stuff. See how they look and maybe replace them on something, but I think for most parts the wires are like okay. I removed the windshield wipers. I'm not sure how you supposed to take it out. I had to cut like a piece of this off. So I used this puller then, and then it came out, but they look like that they're just pressed in. Maybe they should like leave like just pulling with slight force, but at least this car it was like stuck. And you can't use puller because there's like no like place for the shaft to push. So I'm not sure like how this is supposed to work, but I need to find a new pair. Just nasty looking stuff. Oh, so much dirt under the trims. They were like full of it. The whole windshield was like just glued on. And it's still pretty like elastic, at least in the inside. But the top part is like just coming off. I'm not sure like if they have different kind of glue between the frame and the glass, and then just different stuff like on the top. I don't know, but yep. Rust. Just nasty. Okay, the car is almost like empty shell. I have removed almost everything. The axles are still attached, so I can move the body around. But other than that, I have almost stripped everything. I just took off the rear bumper, gas tank and the trailer attachment. And I also removed everything from the dash or under it. The blower, motor, pedal systems, brake booster, brake lines and fuel lines and steering column and all the little pieces, so it's getting like really empty. Now you can also see the tight spots under the dash. There is some seams that are like rusted, so I need at least sandblast them and paint, but there are few spots where you need to make some rust repairs. But I think I'll end this episode here. This was like stripped down video. And I think next I have to do some rust repairs in the front, so I can start planning the mounting for the body grille, that this is gonna hold the body weight. But thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.